two cases today. The first is a man who had his parole revoked following an altercation with his girlfriend. The second is a man convicted in the manslaughter death of his wife who is seeking parole. Let's take a look.
Okay, we're here today for a revocation hearing on Mr. Tyron Andrews. Mr. Andrews, please state your name and DLC number for the record.
Tyron Andrews, 705-541.
Mr. Andrews, do you have a parole questionnaire with you?
No, sir.
Yeah. We'll put one up on the screen. Tell me if this is your signature.
Yes, sir.
You got one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you sign it and not request appointed counsel?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you ready to proceed today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Today I'll read the conditions that you are alleged to have violated. You plead guilty or not guilty with or without a statement. We will speak with you, and after that, I'll let your supporters speak. We have Chloe Fruge, child's mother, Doneen Bowles, your mother, and Tori Bowles, your sister. They will all speak when I call on them after we go through the conditions. Okay, it is alleged, Mr. Matthews, that you on or about 6/23/24, you were arrested by the Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Office for committing the offense of domestic abuse battery. The charge was rejected. How do you plead to that charge?
Not guilty.
All right. Now we'll go to your speakers. Mr. Fruge, Chloe Fruge, the child's mother. What do you have to say about Ms. Andrews?
Okay.
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 All right.
Just what I have to say about the situation.
Yes, ma'am.
I think the whole situation was a misunderstanding. The altercation that me and Tyron got into was never physical. We did get into an argument, and I did call the cops, but I just wanted them to get him to leave our apartment because we were arguing. I think it escalated into something that it shouldn't have been. And I feel that Tyron needs to come home. His daughter misses him and he misses his daughter. And
So you're not afraid of him, Ms. Fruge?
not at all.
Okay. Did he batter you that day? Was there any physical contact?
Not at all, sir. It was just arguing and it did escalate to yelling, but it was nothing physical.
Okay. So the witnesses that said he dragged you inside, you're saying that didn't happen?
No, sir, that did not happen.
Okay. Do any of my colleagues have any questions? Okay, seeing that they have no questions, we'll move on to Mr. Doneen Bowles, subject's mother. Okay, I don't see Miss Bowles. Tori Bowles, your sister, Miss Tori, are you there?
Hi, yes.
Okay, tell us what you want us to know about your brother.
My brother is a very good father and a provider, and unfortunately, him and his girlfriend, his child's mother, got into an argument that led to yelling, and it's a huge misunderstanding. Our daughters are 4 months apart, and I know I see different things and milestones in her every day. So I can only imagine how many milestones he's missed with his own daughter. And if he doesn't have any official charges, and they've been rejected, I really do hope that he can make it home and, just learn to like, hey, let's just sit down and talk versus getting to escalated situation. But yeah, we love you, Tyron, and hopefully y'all can see that he's a good father, a good brother, a good son, and he's been gone way too long already.
Okay. Miss Doneen Bowles, did you get in yet?
No, I'm trying to, my phone is acting crazy. I'm gonna sign in on the computer.
But I can hear you right now. So what do you have to say about your son?
Oh, my son is a really good father. And like I said, an uncle to my granddaughter. I just feel like it was a huge misunderstanding. From what I'm hearing, it was a verbal altercation. I just really feel like he needs to come home. He has a lot. He was going on. He was getting ready to start plumbing school, etc. So this has put a huge halt on everything, and I don't feel like he needs to be in there. He's working on his life way too long, and he's been for a lot with my oldest daughter just get cancer. So he really.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, your case has been assigned to me, Mr. Andrews, so I'll be leading in the questioning. Tell me what happened that day. What went on 6/23/2024?
That morning, June 23rd, it was a Sunday morning. I woke up. My girlfriend, my fiance, she went through my phone and she was worried about text messages in my phone. So she just accused me overall of cheating on her. And I kept telling her I'm not cheating on you or anything like that. And, it just kept getting louder and louder. And she said, you are doing this. I have proof. I let her go through my phone. She just was just infuriated, and I mean, there's nothing I could do. I mean, I'm not a very confrontational person, so the only thing I could decide to do was leave. The Louisiana Code of Governmental Ethics for Public Servants. As far as I left, I came back from the gas station, and I seen that the police officers were leaving. And when they were leaving, it's a very private apartment complex that we stay in. So I approached them as they were leaving, and they were asking me my name. So I just showed them my ID, and they said, "Oh, we were looking for you." And I said, "Well, what seems to be the problem?" And then they asked me about my daughter. They asked me about her. They asked me, did I get into a small altercation with her, and I just told her, yeah, we were arguing, but I just left. And then they detained me, and then I was just sitting on the ground, and then moments later, they told me I was being arrested for domestic abuse battery, and what do I have to say about it? And I said, I never I never hit my girlfriend, I never did anything to her. And then they were talking about what's wrong with the scratches on her knees, and just asking me questions. I said, that's really private, sexual content. And then he just told me to sit in the back of the truck, and then I was arrested. And I talked to my parole officer, and she told me I wasn't allowed to defer myself. And then after they told me that I didn't have any more charges, they told me that I had to go in front of the parole board because of my previous charges that I pled guilty to, that I've been on.
All right, let me ask you this. How did the bruises get there? I mean, was there any physical confrontation? And tell me the truth now.
I'm telling you the truth, sir. That's embarrassing, but it was all sexual content. I don't put my hands on or anybody in any confrontation I get into.
All right, because like I say, cops saw it and a witness claims they saw it. Okay, I have no further questions for you. Do any of my colleagues have a question?
Nope.
Okay. Is the panel ready to vote? Okay, I'll be voting first because this is my case. Mr. Andrews, you gotta watch these things. You're on parole. Anytime the cops get called, you're gonna get arrested. And if you get arrested, we're gonna hold you, and especially for domestic abuse battery, because we take it very, very seriously. And you could be revoked, even though the charges were rejected. But today, and I'm not gonna revoke you, but I am going to add the special condition that you go to anger management, just in case there's some problems here. And I would suggest that if y'all need counseling, y'all need to go together, because we don't need this to keep happening. So that's my vote today, not to revoke and to add a special condition of anger management. Ms. Renatza?
I agree. My vote also is do not revoke with the added special condition that he enroll in complete anger management. And I concur with your suggestion about counseling together.
Okay. Mr. Prater?
I concur with my colleagues.
Okay. All right, Mr. Andrews, today your parole has not been revoked. You'll be released. You need to go to your probation officer and see where you can take this anger management class. If you live around Lake Charles, I know they got a day reporting center there and they can teach you the class there. So good luck to you, sir. Our next case is going to be Mr. Paul Perennis. Mr. Perennis, would you please state your name and DOC number for me, please?
Paul Farinas, 172985.
Okay. The way this is going to go is that I'm going to speak to you first, and then we'll let anybody for speak, which we have no one here in favor. We do have opposition, Mr. Randall Myers, Assistant District Attorney Jefferson, and Edna Amos, victim's mother, is here with us at headquarters, will be speaking, and Joanne Barton, victim's aunt, is here at headquarters but will not be speaking. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Perennis, tell us, why do you think we should parole you, and what you did to get yourself in this situation?
Committed a crime of manslaughter.
Okay, be a little bit more specific than that. I mean, what did you do? What happened?
The crime of manslaughter against my wife, Delinda Amos.
And why should we let you out?
I've done a lot productively through the years of being incarcerated. Been involved in a lot of programs, classes, mentoring, tutoring, and I think I'm a different person than I was when I first came in. Mindset, way of thinking, compassionate, and I would ask the board to please consider granting me a shot at another chance in society.
Okay. All right. First, we'll go to the victim's mother. To approach the podium, please, ma'am. Please state your name and relationship, ma'am.
My name is Edna Ames. I'm Delinda Ames' mother.
Okay, Ms. Amos, tell us what you want us to know, and please try to hold it under 5 minutes.
He objected. When he first did it, he said he had 30 years flat. He said the crime that she electrocuted herself. Her 11-year-old son found her body in the tub. She not was just raising her 3, it was also his 2 daughters. She would never ever get a chance to see her children graduate, get married, see her grandchildren. And he had the audacity to say he's a changed person. I don't think so. Because my oldest grandchild still have nightmares, and he's 31 years old. And for a child to find his mother in that condition is beyond belief. You know, I don't think he needs to be paroled. He needs to do his whole 30 that they claim that he was supposed to be doing.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you coming today. Next, we'll have Mr. Randall Myers, Assistant DA Jefferson Parish.
Good afternoon, Good morning, Randall Meyer, Assistant DA in Jefferson. We're opposed to Mr. Francis's request for parole. As you just heard, there's victim opposition. Mr. Farinas, as noted in the judge in his opposition, had entered into a negotiated plea to serve 30 years for a violent, intentional, and carefully planned murder. And he staged a scene to try to make it look like an accident. And looking at what he's done since incarcerated, it doesn't appear that he's taken sufficient programs to warrant a release. The record shows that he's completed Living in Balance, True Freedom Program, and anger management. So based on that and the victim opposition, we are opposed to his request.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, this case has been assigned to Mr. Prater. Mr. Prater, would you lead us off in questioning?
All right, Mr. Prentice, tell us, I know you must not like to talk much, but I'm gonna try to pull it out of you. What have you learned in your classes about victims and victimization and that sort of thing?
Victimization, I guess is another form of bullying. I've learned compassion. That is not right. Helping people more, listening, understanding, finding out more about myself. And finding out more about myself enabled me to be able to help others with different facilitating of classes that I've done since being incarcerated. And I've strengthened in them areas since being incarcerated and involving myself with different programs to enable me to be able to speak to you today and stating that, you know, I'm not the same person I was when I first entered prison.
Okay. Well, anytime you've been somewhere 20 years, you're not the same person that you were before. You've got some good letters from staff at the prison and the sheriff's office. You got some good letters. You got some victim opposition, DA and law enforcement. You've only served 20 years of a 30-year sentence, and you took a plea bargain. What were you originally charged with?
Second-degree murder.
Okay. How did let me pull it out of you. How did your wife get the curling iron when she's in the bathtub?
To be honest, sir, I wasn't even at the residence when that happened. This is stuff I've discovered through the first stages of when it started unfolding, and I wasn't even at the residence when it happened. I don't know how to truthfully answer that for you.
Did you provide her with the curling iron? I mean, you pled guilty to manslaughter. How did she get the curling iron?
That was a device that was in the household.
Did you have anything to do with her death?
No, sir, I didn't.
That's all the questions I got.
Okay, Ms. Renata, do you have any questions?
Mr. Farinas, how old were you when this happened?
I'm 30, 31.
Mm-hmm. And how old was your wife? How old was your, I'm sorry.
29, I think.
Okay. No, I don't have any questions, Mr. Freeman. Thank you.
Yeah, I just have one question. I see in the record that you were removed from state police. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And why were you removed from state police?
It was a fight with another inmate.
And that was in 2015?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's all the questions I have. Is the panel ready to vote?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Prater, it was your case. You'll go first.
Okay, Mr. French, it's kind of an unusual situation because you're still denying something that you pled guilty to, and that puts us in a kind of an awkward position in a way, but it makes it simple also. You served 20 years of a 30-year sentence. It was a gruesome crime. The 11-year-old could have been electrocuted when they found their mom. You don't seem to have a lot of remorse for what occurred, at least that I could hear, and you have no admission that you had anything to do with it. And so something you pled guilty to. I have no question of what my vote is going to be, and that is to deny your parole.
Ms. Renatza?
I agree. My vote is to deny parole based on the negotiated plea and the opposition expressed today.
Okay, and my vote is the same due to law enforcement and victim opposition and the plea bargain. Mr. Farinas, your parole has been denied. Good luck to you.
Yes, sir.
If you like court videos, please consider liking. Please consider subscribing. Until next time, folks.